Meanwhile, UConn, their offensive struggles have continued. Shot 42% in the first half, but here under 30% based on this matchup zone that we've seen. But yet they're getting to the free throw line.
Well, the zone pressure and defense from Tulsa has been suffocating the UConn offense. And the frustration sets in when you shoot 26% from the floor in the second half.
That's the 16th foul against Tulsa, the third that goes against Daquan Jeffries. And now Frank Haith, along with Dan Hurley, warning both coaches of the referees.
Now Dan Hurley and Frank Haith are talking to each other, which never leads to anything good.
Little jawing back and forth between the Tulsa and UConn coach, and Elijah Joyner waving his hand, trying to wave on the crowd.
He teed up both coaches. Patrick Adams steps in, takes control, and Dan wants to visit with Frank to shake hands, it looks like.
Dan Hurley's like, let me shake the man's hands. And now both benches are standing up. Pat Adams having to back away Dan Hurley. This almost reminds you of the John Chaney, John Calipari situation where they've had to be separated.
Now Dan Hurley looks like he's wanting to make peace with Frank Haith right now.
He's looking at Frank saying, we're good. Trying to get the acknowledgement of the Tulsa head coach. What a perplexing situation that has occurred between Frank Haith and Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley saying to the officials, I was just trying to shake Frank's hands. But this is what you get in conference play. It elevates, tempers flair.
So we know of the one technical foul, and then the second official came in as the situation looked like it was escalating. And it looked like that might have been even, we're trying to get confirmation, could have been a second technical foul, but both coaches, I think, got two technical fouls, which would mean both would be ejected.
Wow, if you saw from what happened last night between South Florida and Cincinnati, where Mick Cronin got ejected here tonight, Frank Haith and Dan Hurley look to be both issue double technicals. Both would be ejected from this game.
Good. Dan Hurley and Frank Haith now are shaking hands, but it looks like they're both going to shake hands and leave the arena at the same time.
You can tell this is the personality of Dan Hurley, almost two different individuals. Frank Haith, very mild-mannered, very easygoing. Dan Hurley, very energetic. And now Pat Adams, the lead official, explaining the decision both to Coach Haith and to Coach Hurley. What a turn of events we have seen here at the 11-minute mark of this second half between these two teams and these two coaches.
Well, Dan Hurley and Frank Haith have made up. That's for sure. And that's a good thing. It doesn't escalate this situation.
Now it seems both coaches are pleading their case to the officiating crew. And now this has turned into, Mark, a very lengthy delay for both of these teams.
So Frank Haith and Danny Hurley will now both leave the floor. The officials coming over for an explanation.
So Frank Haith exiting the building. Dan Hurley still can't believe what he just saw. And he too will be leaving as well. So both head coaches ejected from this game. The altercation that ensued. Frank Haith is gone, now Dan Hurley is gone.
So it is confirmed, 2 technical fouls on both coaches. They will offset. Patrick Adams came in, one official, to be a peacemaker as Dan Hurley and Frank Haith had words for each other. And he teed up both coaches right there and right there. Now after this, Dan Hurley appeared to try to make some peace. And the second official comes in and calls a technical